Okay, so I talk about tidal height in my videos, and I wanted to explain the concept. So you can see this was from yesterday, Wednesday, May 25th, and I actually had a real good day yesterday, and I got there about 10:30. So you can see at 10:30, tidal height was 4.5 feet. High tide was about 4.9 from 9:16 to 9:30, and then I fished till about 11. And you can see that I was still about 4 feet. So that's the tidal height that I would like to go back at, is 4 feet. But what I'm always trying to do is correlate, when I caught my fish to the tidal height, and then duplicate that as close as I can if I'm there in successive days. So you can see that today or yesterday's high tide, was only less than 5 feet. And this is Lincoln Beach, which is close to my house, and it's a little bit further away from Wade Creek, but I consistently use the same beach all the time, and it doesn't matter if it's off or on, it's just a relative feel. Okay, so again, that's what I mean by tidal height. In comparison to today, I went at I got there about 8 o'clock, so you can see it's 3.4 feet, and then I left about 9 o'clock, so you can see that it was like 4 feet. And today's high tide is again 4.9. So I was trying to duplicate, the depth, but I just wasn't able to make it. So right now, I'm looking at the graph, and it's still a little bit 4.2 feet, so that's still a little low. So anyway, this would have been the optimal time that I would have went today, but I just didn't have the ability to do that. Okay, so that's the concept of tidal height, and sorry if it bored you. Oh man, it's windy. Okay, so it's Thursday, May 26th, 7:55 a.m. I'm here with fellow club member Ed Peterson. I did pretty well yesterday at Wade on the south side, so we're going to go to the south. And unfortunately, I wanted to come an hour after high tide, but I got to do chores today and shop, so I'm just coming at a time of convenience. Tide's kind of lower than yesterday when I came. So I looked at the tidal chart from yesterday, and it was about 4 feet when I was getting my fish. Swell energy is actually about 150, 160 today, so it's still pretty calm. It's actually pretty pleasant. There's a slight gust of breeze here and there, but there's not a steady breeze, so it's pretty warm. Catching conditions, they look okay. They're not as good as yesterday. Again, I think with the tide being so low right now, tidal height being so low, the crashing waves don't look as good. I'm going to say 3.5, yeah, it's about 3.5 to 3 hours and 45 minutes to high tide. So it's still quite a ways away. I'm only here for a short time. I'm on my way to go grocery shopping in Newport. Okay, so I'm just starting at the same place I did yesterday. So again, I'm just looking behind my landmarks, and I'm not quite where I started yesterday, but between the two of us, because we got a lot more ground to cover. So I'm looking at the catch conditions, and it doesn't look so good. There's some breaking waves, but they're kind of out there and they're kind of small. But I just moved about 25 yards further south from where I was, and wave action here actually looks pretty good. So much better than where I was just now. All right, so just got my first bite. They were kind of slight. They were kind of slight pecks though, but it's nice to get a bite right away. All right, so I'm still getting bites on the same cast. So I had Ed come down a little bit closer to me. Just had a small bite as well. So he's using Gulf sandworms. He said he forgot his clams at home. Getting bites, so I'm pretty sure these are silvers because they're just light little taps. But I've had a lot of continuous small bites on this one cast by leaving it out there. So catch conditions sure look really, really good where I just got my bite and Ed got his bite. But there's some really pretty decent breaking waves that are close by, and it's pretty deep. So I'm hoping we get a fish here soon. Ed's getting bites, and I'm getting bites again. So this is 2 casts in a row. Again, they're small bites this time, so if I can hook it and it's a silver, I'm going to start moving left. Back-to-back casts with bites, and Ed just got one too. There's a decent drift going from left to right, so I'm casting left, and within about 3 minutes my line's way over to the right, so I'm having to cast a little bit more often than I'd like. Yesterday it was basically just sitting out there. This is the cast after 2 bites in a row, nothing on this cast. Okay, so I've been here about 20 minutes now, got in about 4 or 5 casts, had bites on 3 of them, but again, they're all tiny little bites, so pretty sure they were silvers, but nothing on the last 2 casts. So I'm gonna head a little more south. So I went further south, and you can see it's pretty shallow here, so I'm not sure how catching conditions look that good here. And maybe I'm gonna go back to a little bit more to the right. I try a few casts down here though, but it seems pretty shallow right now. High tide still not for another 3 hours. Is probably one of the most stoic fishermen I fish with. This is like the 3rd time I fish with him, but he's basically like a statue. He doesn't hardly move at all, you know, where I'm always constantly moving. So you know, he's a very calm fisherman. Been here just a little over half an hour. I'm guessing about 7-8 casts, and only those 3 little bites. I think I was on 2, 3, and 4, but since then 0 action. And it's getting really shallow the further south I come. So I might head back to where I got the bites. But it's really shallow here. I don't know if you can see right now. See how flat it is? I'm guessing it's about 2-3 feet deep, you know, until these waves come in. So going back to the parking lot and getting close to the creek, it is a little bit deeper here than where I was, you know, at the southern end of the landmark number 1. So again, the beach topography changes as you move along. But you know, this actually looks like pretty good catching conditions, much better than where I just was. I've been here just a little over an hour, stayed a little bit longer than I was planning on. I wanted to help Ed get a fish, and then once he quit, I figured, well, I might as well take a few casts since I was down here. I wanted to test catching success at this tidal height. So it's still 2.5 hours before high tide. So I'm gonna go back and look at what the tidal depth was when we were fishing just now. I'm guessing it's about 2 or 3 feet, and that's kind of where I'm trying to keep track of tidal heights now, because I'm trying to duplicate my success. So I've been here a little over an hour, got on about, I would say, 12 casts. I only had bites on 3 of them, and again, they were all 3 tiny bites, and they were all at the beginning of the trip. But as I was saying before, I'm just trying to test when I catch and compare that to the tidal height, so you know whether it's incoming and outgoing, as well as the height. Yeah. So anyway, that's it for today. I want to come back an hour after high tide, so I'm hoping to do that next day or 2.